Hi guys, and welcome back to Guitar by Emily. I'm really excited for today's video because you guys have been requesting this for a while now, and because it's the new year, people are picking up new hobbies, wanting to get better at guitar. I thought this would be the perfect time to make this video. Today we're going to be talking about how to become the best guitar player in 2025, my tips and tricks, mindset changes, things that can help you out, and I'm also going to be talking about my practice routine, everything I use, everything I practice with, books, online programs, YouTube videos, literally everything. We're going to be going through it today. So I hope this video is a big help to you. If it is, make sure you give this video a like, you subscribe to my channel, and make sure you go down to the comment section and leave me a comment of what you want to see in 2025 on my channel. I'd also like to remind you that I have some really exciting things coming up. I'm going to be putting the dates over here, but on January 17th in Ashland, Kentucky, I'm going to be playing with that Arena Rock show. I'm going to be playing with the same band on February 22nd in Versailles, Ohio. These are both just guest appearances, so I'm only going to be playing one song with them, but I'm super excited that they're allowing me to do this, and I really love the band. They're really fun. So if you are close to the area, I highly recommend that you check out going to the shows. And then also on March 1st in French Lick, Indiana, I am going to be playing with BRET again. I am so excited. The show just kind of popped up. I realized that I would be able to go to it, and I was so excited when they told me I could come. And so yeah, if you're close to French Lick, Indiana, make sure you check out coming to the show on March 1st. BRET puts on such a good show himself, and I'm so excited that I'm going to be with him again, getting to play the last song. Alright, so I think it's time that we hop right into this video. First up, I'm going to just talk a little bit about, some mindset changes and, how to approach guitar going into the new year. So first off, I always like to tell people if they're either starting guitar or they're wanting to get better, that you have to love what you're doing. And, that's a little bit difficult because if you're first starting out or if you're getting frustrated because you don't know anything yet, it's a little bit hard to love something you're not good at. But it has to be something that you have a reason why you want to play. You think it's cool, if someone in your family plays, or you just want to be able to shred your favorite songs. You got to have your reason and your why for starting to play. And that's going to give you the motivation to continue to play and to really enjoy learning and practicing. And that's going to take you a lot further than just, making yourself practice and things like that. Another thing that was told to me by Dante Frisiello was that when guitar or anything really becomes a work, your mind is going to set it off into that category of I have to do this, and it's more of a I dread doing that type of thing rather than I want to do that or I want to get better at that. So try to look at guitar in a way that you're not making it seem like this is a job, this is work, I absolutely have to practice this, this, and this for these specific amounts of time. It's good to be disciplined at your practice. Definitely you need to have a routine, and you need to be, strict about, making yourself practice, making yourself, nail down those things that are difficult. I really kind of discourage people, especially younger players, from looking at guitar as like homework or something like that, because you're not going to love it in the long run if you continue to put that kind of theme on your practice time, if that makes sense. Another thing I really recommend that, if you're just starting to play or you've been playing a little bit and maybe you've lost a little bit of that passion, is to find some players that you're really inspired by, or even some YouTubers, or just anyone that plays guitar that you think is cool, or you want to be able to play their songs, or a band that you like. Just find someone that inspires you in some way or another, and that's going to give you something to look towards to be working at, and something that you can use as inspiration. For me, Steve Vai, along with many other players, I'm not going to get into it all right now, but Steve Vai has been my biggest inspiration as a guitarist. And Steve Vai has definitely always been that person that I'm like, I want to practice because I really want to be able to play one of his songs and cover it one day. I really want to be able to get this certain technique that he does down. And so having a person or multiple people, in my case, probably 20 plus guitarists that I'm extremely inspired by, having those people that you can look at and watch them play and be inspired by really will help your journey. Okay, with all of that aside, now I just kind of want to show you some materials that I have used along my guitar journey, or things that I recommend. I have not used a lot of things, honestly. Like, I've tried some different stuff out, but there are only a few things that I would actually recommend to you guys. I plan on going through a little bit of my practice routine in a little bit more towards the end of the video. Right now I just kind of want to show you the materials and what I've been using. Keep in mind that I did start playing, and for about 6 months I think I was kind of learning from YouTube, random videos, nothing really to mention because it was more just like beginner guitars, searching things on YouTube and trying to find some help. So I was self-taught for a little bit right at the beginning. But I did start taking lessons from my piano teacher, which I've been playing piano for a lot longer, if you guys didn't know. But my piano teacher gave me lessons. He taught me a lot about, fundamental guitar stuff, chords. He is big into blues guitar, which I also really like. So he taught me a lot about blues soloing and patterns and things like that. So that is something that, I obviously can't send you a link to, or I can't, show you the book that I use. That was just taught to me by someone that I know, and I'm very thankful for him teaching me all those things. So if you have a resource of someone that you can take lessons from, a friend, or just someone in the area, I definitely recommend utilizing that resource, at least for a little bit. I currently don't take lessons with him anymore because I am in college, and going in person to lessons are a little bit too much for my schedule right now. Definitely, if you have the ability to, I definitely recommend doing that. Another thing I'd like to mention is I currently take online lessons with a guitar teacher. His name is JJ. He is absolutely awesome, and that is another resource you guys can use because, with Zoom and Google Meetings and things like that, you can take online lessons from virtually anyone, anywhere. So it's really cool that me and JJ have been able to work together and him teach me so many things, and we work on a lot of songs together. So it's really cool that we can live in two different places, and then I can choose when to do my lessons based around my schedule, my college classes. And so that is an option if you have a busy schedule or there's no one in your area. Keep looking around for some online lessons. I found JJ through Lesson Face, if you're familiar with that platform, but you can do your research and look around. I just wanted to mention that I didn't solely use these resources that I'm going to show you. I did have 2 guitar teachers along my journey. And I'd also like to mention that I am still learning a lot. I've only been playing for 4 years, and I have a lot of work left to do, but I have learned a lot in those 4 years, and I thought that it would be helpful to you guys to share what I have been using. First up, let's start with some books. Now, this doesn't exactly mean these specific books. It's more just the author, and these are the Chris Brooks guitar books. I absolutely love these books, and I did start using them probably within the last year, so I'm not sure if he has stuff for complete beginners. He probably does, I just haven't looked into it. So I would definitely check these out, depending on what you want to work on. And this video isn't just for complete beginners. You could have been playing for years and just want some things to implement into your practice routine. And these would be great. This is the Neoclassical Speed Strategies for Guitar. So this is like your Yngwie style stuff. And this has been really helpful. I have been working through this. I've not worked on this one as diligently as I did this one. This is the 13-week guitar technique boot camp. This one absolutely transformed my playing. I really, really learned so much from this book, and it really, really did improve my picking and my overall technique. It goes through all different kinds of picking techniques, sweep picking, economy picking, alternate picking, tapping, legato, literally everything, any kind of guitar technique. It goes through literally everything that you would be using when playing guitar, and it goes through 13 weeks of practice routines, and it definitely gives you plenty of material to work on every week. So I really recommend getting this book. I think if you've been playing for 2 years, maybe a year, honestly, you could start working through this book, and I think it'd be really helpful. This is another book from him that I have. This is Arpeggios for Shred Guitar. This one isn't exactly like a technique book. It's just if you're wanting to work on arpeggios and implementing them into some of your improvisation, this would be a good one for you. But again, it doesn't have to be those exact books that I chose. He has a lot of good content. And Chris Brooks also has a lot of good content on his Instagram, so make sure if you have Instagram, you go follow him. And yeah, I've learned a lot from his books, and I think the style of them are very easy to follow along with. I feel like I have mentioned some other books and some other videos that I have made, but those definitely have been the most influential on me, and those are the ones that I highly recommend. I think there are a lot of bad books out there that just aren't really useful, that you're not really going to learn from. And it also just depends on your learning style. If you're not going to open it and sit there and read it all and work through it, then books probably aren't for you. That moves me to the next point, which are the online courses or online materials that I have been using. So I'm going to go ahead and screen record on my Mac so that you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. First off, we're starting with the courses that I use the most within the first probably 2 years of playing. And these are the Robert Baker courses, which I'd also like to mention that some of these classes that I'm going to be bringing up, these are from YouTubers and they have content already on their channels. They do not only offer these programs. So if you're not wanting to buy anything or spend money on subscriptions, then they have a lot of good content on their YouTube channels as well. So I will link those down below. And definitely, you know, Robert Baker and some of these guys that I'm going to mention have stuff that you can just get straight off YouTube. So I'm not signed in, so this isn't showing exactly what I have done, but I've done multiple of these courses. But as we're scrolling through here, you can just see that he has a lot of classes, a lot of different styles, a lot of different levels. I really, really like this 80s course. I think it's really great for someone who loves 80s rock. I think it was a great intro to the 80s. So if you've been playing for about a year to 2 years, that one might be good for you. Is the essential rock guitar sequences. This one I found really helpful for, you know, implementing these rock styles into improvisation. I thought it was really helpful. Moving on, we have Guitar Max courses, which I've not done a lot of his courses, but I know that I really like Max's teaching style and I like what I have seen. So I definitely recommend his courses as well. They're very similarly laid out as the Robert Baker courses are. Here they are. Looks like he's having really good sales right now. So if you're watching this video real time, head over to Max's website. I'll link this stuff, by the way. It's looking like he's got a ton of stuff, which I've, again, like I said, not done all of these. Really, really enjoy the quality of production and, you know, how easy he is to listen to. He definitely is very straightforward and simple to listen to. So if you like that kind of teaching, then I totally recommend getting some of Max's courses. All right, and here we've moved over to Patreon, which Patreon offers a lot of guitar courses. And again, do your own research, find what YouTubers you like. Chances are they probably have a Patreon if they're, you know, well-developed YouTuber and they do lessons. Patreon is a great place to find lessons and different kinds of content. And sometimes you can get that content at a pretty cheap price. You know, a lot of the Patreon subscriptions are not that much, probably less than a cup of coffee, and it's only once a month. So I really like Patreon courses. I find Patreon very easy to navigate. And again, most of the courses aren't that expensive, so I appreciate that. This is my absolute favorite way of learning. And again, I'm approaching this as someone who has been playing for, I started using these probably around 3.5 years to 4 years of playing. So I'm not sure if he has a lot of stuff for straight up beginners, but he definitely has stuff for intermediate and advanced players. There's stuff on this Patreon that I can't touch yet. It's just too difficult. And so this is great that if you've been playing a while and you just want to strengthen your skills or learn a few new things or, you know, just clean up your playing, this is the guy. So this is BRET's Patreon. I hope I'm saying that right, BRET. You guys know him. I know you know him. You've seen him on YouTube. He's great. He's really, really awesome. I love his content. He's such a good teacher, and I'm just kind of scrolling through here so you can get a look at what we're looking at. But I think every week he posts a new package of guitar practice material. So every week, that's a little crazy. I mean, you know, that's a lot of practice material, you know, and it gives you enough to work on throughout the entire week. So you could, you know, just take what he posts, you know, at the beginning and take it through the whole week. And, you know, that's your practice material for the week. That's kind of how I use it. You know, it's just really helpful. And then, of course, you can go back to all the other weeks of practice material that he's posted. So many different techniques, so many different, you know, genres of rock and metal that he covers. And I find his videos on YouTube that accompany the videos on Patreon to be very entertaining, very fun to watch, and very straightforward. Definitely BRET has a lot of content on YouTube, like I was speaking of before. He has a lot of lessons on YouTube that are really helpful, and they're laid out very similarly to the Patreon lessons. But if you do like his content on YouTube, I really, really recommend getting the Patreon subscription because they go so well hand in hand, and it's just more of what you're seeing on YouTube on Patreon. So these are more of play-along lessons. He has videos where you straight up just put the video on. He has a metronome and has the tab on the screen, and you play along with him to these exercises. And that is mainly what all these things are exercises or different things that practice different kinds of picking or string skipping or different, just all kinds of different things. You guys have seen these videos, I know you have. So In my opinion, doing things like this are the best way to improve your skills as a guitarist. While sometimes these exercises aren't the most musical, so they're not really training your ear or, your creativity as far as music goes and things like that, you still have to be able to have the skills to put together your ideas and your creativity. So stuff like this is really going to speed up your process of getting better as a guitarist. It's really going to get you playing a lot faster, especially these burn exercises. I've noticed that is where my playing really started to get faster, my picking get a lot tighter. Okay, now that I've talked about a lot of the materials that I've used and I like to use currently, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my practice routine, which is a little bit hard to sit here and just talk about because it is not the same every day. And I've done a lot of different things. I'm constantly expanding what I'm working on and I'm trying to try new things. I am going to just go through what I do most of the time and my main things that I like to implement. This is probably one of my most asked questions is what do I do to practice and things like that. So hopefully this helps. Now, like I said, every day when I pick up the guitar, it is different. But I typically have an idea when I sit down of something that I want to work on. And I also have a number of progress songs that I am always working on. So that's kind of where I start. I like to go through exercises of one of these programs, typically the Bernth programs. I like to do something of that every day. If it's a good day, I like to do that for about a half hour. And I'm going to show you how I do that first. Okay, so when you get the exercises, I'm speaking right now of the Bernth Patreon exercises. You can download them in a Guitar Pro format. So I save all of these into my Guitar Pro folder and put them into the routines. I'm just going to click one right now. That's going to open that in Guitar Pro. And here we have all of the tabs for that specific exercise right here. And what's great about Guitar Pro is that this will play it and you can play along. Let me see if I can get some volume. Okay, you guys can hear that, I think. And what is so great about this now is that you can play along with that exactly how it is going. You can see the tabs right in front of you, similarly to how he does this in his YouTube videos, but this gives you access to do it with anything he has on Patreon. It makes it really, really easy. Also, if you know how to use Guitar Pro, you have the ability to loop this. So if I just wanted to play that, we're looping it now. And then I can slow this down. Let's say that's a little too quick. Now it's way slower. So this just gives you complete customization of using these exercises to the best of your ability, totally utilizing them and getting the most out of them. So definitely I recommend if you are going to sign up for his Patreon, just go ahead and buy Guitar Pro. It is a one-time purchase. It's not a subscription. I got mine and I think it was around $45, which for a software is not bad at all. And I got it on sale. So maybe it's still on sale. I'll link it down below, but it's totally worth it. Even if you're paying full price around $88, it's really worth it, and I think that it would definitely help you. You can also import any kind of tabs that you use that are Guitar Pro files into this, not of course just these exercises, so it's really helpful when you're learning things. So to start out my practice routine, like I was saying, I will go through some of these exercises. If I am really rushed for time, maybe I'll skip them. I'd like to not do that in 2025. I'm really trying to make it a habit to every day work on some kind of exercises like this, and be more specific about what I'm working on so that it helps me in the songs and solos that I'm learning. But I will go through them typically on the Guitar Pro like this. I will, slow it down, speed it up, do whatever I need to do, and I will push myself further than I did the day before. So I will try to maybe speed up the BPM so that I am playing that exercise a little faster, or I'll move on to a more advanced exercise. So you kind of get the point there. So right now, that's really all the technical practice that I do, but of course, technical practice can come in many forms along with learning new songs. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is progress songs, which these are songs that are more difficult. They're not things that you can learn in a weekend. They're not things that you can learn in a week. These are really not even songs that you see me cover on YouTube. I started working on progress songs with my guitar teacher, JJ, and these are songs like a Steve Vai song, an Eric Johnson song, Yngwie, things that are difficult that you're not going to be able to just pick up like that and know how to play them. So right now, my progress songs are Tender Surrender by Steve Vai and Cliffs of Dover, Eric Johnson. Those are two very hard to tackle songs, but they both have some very, very good things in there that you can learn from. You know, Eric Johnson, the hybrid picking, the economy picking. I have learned so much already from working on Cliffs of Dover. And again, I cannot get the song up to speed yet. I've been working on it for about 3 weeks now. I still fumble through parts of the song. I don't remember all the notes yet, but I'm working on it, and I work on it every day. It's something that I think is very beneficial to you as a guitar player, to slowly chip away at a song that is difficult, because you're just always going to continue to keep learning. And eventually I will be able to play the songs. It might take a long time, but I just continue to work on them. And in my experience, I've really been able to see my improvement, you know, as the weeks go on, and as I continue to work on these songs. It can get tiring, it can get boring, because you continue the same songs, but it pays off in the end. A song I had previously was Always With Me, Always With You by Joe Satriani. I've honestly not worked on it in a long time, but there was a time when I had the entire song memorized and I was able to play it all the way through pretty cleanly. So I think I should pick that back up and, you know, maybe put out a cover of it. But that really shows that it pays off. I worked on that song for a long time and I was able to play it, you know, at the end of that certain period of time. So getting some progress songs, I think, is a really good place to start, and that is something that I work on every day. And then I also have fun songs, which are still not songs that are always super easy, but these are more the songs that you guys hear me cover. These are the things that I'm playing all the time, my 80s songs, you know, the rock songs, things like that. This is where I, you know, am using Moises, my backing track software, which I'm going to show you in a second. But these are songs that I am, you know, working through to probably cover for you guys, or if it's just something that I want to play for myself, you know, things like that. And these are songs that I also work on every day. And I typically, honestly, have about 10 to 15 of these going at a time. And obviously, I can't work on those every day. It just depends on how much time I have to practice. But I do try to go through them, at least run through the solos, because solos are typically the thing you have to clean up the most. These are always just things that I'm currently in a rotation of learning so that I can eventually get it clean enough to cover for you guys. And again, that's my passion, playing covers. So getting to learn these songs is really fun for me, and it's part of practice that I really, really like. When it comes to learning these songs, I use Ultimate Guitar typically for my tabs. And of course, I listen to them, make sure I think it's right. If I'm having trouble, I'm like, this tab isn't sounding right, maybe I will go in with my ear and try to listen and figure out what's wrong. Or if I can't really figure it out, if it's kind of a weird riff or something, I'll head to YouTube. There are a few YouTubers that I really like to watch for their covers and tabs and things, so I'll link those down below. They're really helpful. And that's how I approach learning songs. Typically, I will just kind of go through and find out what riffs are happening, what chords are happening, and then I'll take a look at the solo and see if it is something that I can even tackle at this point, because I'm not going to start working on a solo that I physically, you know, my fingers can't play yet, because if it's going to take me a year to finish working on that, it's going to be more beneficial for me to work on a little bit less hard song, so that the turnover will be less time and I can get that cover out to you within a month or two. So while it is important to work on those harder things, that's kind of what the progress songs are for. And these fun songs are songs that I can typically get down within a couple weeks or a month and then polish them up from there. But that is probably the majority of my practice time is taken up by songs like that, because I post a lot of covers on YouTube and I have to constantly keep up with new songs, adding new songs to the list so that I can always have something ready for you guys to see and for me to film and record. So again, this all comes back to having reasons why you love playing. Make sure that you're learning songs that you like. Of course, branching out of your comfort zone sometimes just so you can learn new things. Currently, I'm working on the intro to One Last Breath by Creed. I like some Creed songs. It's not exactly my genre, but I do like some of their songs, and the finger-picking intro to that song is really pretty. So I'm learning that. I've never really done a lot of finger-picking, so that's something, you know, I would consider branching out of my comfort zone a little bit. but I'm learning from it. So keep that in mind when you're picking songs. You're choosing things that you like and you're inspired by, but you're also, not staying within the same 5 power chords. You're constantly, moving on to harder and more difficult things. I think that's really what's going to push you as a guitar player. Before we move on, I just want to show you my Moises software because I talk about it so much. Okay, we've got a lot of random songs on here, but let's click on this one. Okay, I'm not going to play the song because I do not want this video to be copyrighted. Most of my videos are, but I'm going to show you how this works. So see, these areas are grayed out. That's where I'm muting the guitar and taking it completely out. So I'll just take out the vocals too and just show you what this sounds like. That shows you that it works really well. Like, that's just the voice. I mean, you can really plainly hear that's just the voice. And then I'll show you some guitar. It's really clear, you can hear it, and that is something that I use to learn songs. I will take out everything, but let's say this rhythm guitar, and I'll listen. Like, okay, I can hear what Neil's doing, and then work on it that way. And it makes it really easy to simplify down a song and hear what's going on. So I definitely recommend that if you don't have a backing track software, that you look into getting Moises. People sometimes accuse me of, not playing the songs or playing along with the original song and they can't hear what I'm playing. But when I'm playing, you're not hearing any guitar. I'll show you a different song just to make it a little bit easier for you to hear. This is a Poison song I just covered. Okay, guitar, I'll turn this up. And it's gone. That's what's playing when I'm playing, because there's no guitar in it. It's back. So really cool how that works. I think Moises is doing a really good job of how they separate the tracks. I think it's really, really good, and it's only getting better. They constantly update the app and the features, so I totally recommend it. Lastly, when talking about my practice routine, is improvisation, and this is something, again, I want to do better at in 2025 because I don't practice it a lot. But honestly, all I do for that is I will turn on a YouTube backing track. Again, I can link some of the backing track channels that I like, but I'll just sit back and, maybe lean back in my chair, put my feet up on the desk with a pillow or something, and just be relaxed and calm and just sit there and play whatever comes out of my head and onto my fingers. And it's just really relaxing. I think it's really fun. I'm not really thinking too much about it. I'm just working through things. I might hit the wrong notes. I try different patterns that maybe I'd like, I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it out. That I think is where you grow as a musician, as far as, improvising, things like that, is just trying new things. So that is a time where I just let myself completely the rules are gone of guitar playing, and I just sit there and I'm like, what will work with this track and what will sound good? So that is really all I do to practice, guys. Those are my main things. And I know you were probably wanting a little bit more of a structured, outlined thing, but it's not really exactly like that. And that is really just the main things. I hope that helps. I hope that, some of those things gave you ideas of things to work on, some different, things to implement into your practice routines. And I hope this was a helpful video. I know you've been requesting it for a while. I hope this has answered all your questions about my guitar playing and things like that. If you want to see more videos like this where I just kind of talk about guitar and things like that, leave me a comment down below. I'm working on making a video on how to start a guitar YouTube channel. If you're interested in seeing that, then let me know. I would go into how I make my covers and exactly how I film everything. If that's something that is helpful to you, then just let me know and I'd love to make it. Again, I hope you liked this video. I hope it answered some of your questions. As always, if I didn't answer one of your questions, or if there's something else that you want to ask, make sure you leave it in the comments. I read pretty much all the comments that I get. I try to at least respond or heart them. I get a lot, so it's hard to respond to everybody, but if you leave a question, I will definitely check it out and try to respond to you the best I can. So make sure you leave a comment if you have anything else you want to ask. I also like to mention that I have merch. I'm wearing it today. This is the Letterman jacket, and I think this is super cool. And there's a lot of different designs and t-shirts and sweatshirts and everything on my merch website, so check that out if you're a fan of the Guitar by Emily channel. Make sure you get some merch to show your support. Again, remember those dates that I'm going to be playing at. If you guys are anywhere close, I'd really love to see you. Definitely going to plan on, maybe trying to do a little bit of a meet and greet at the Arena Rock shows just to say hi. Nothing like officially set up, but just like to be able to say hi to you guys if you do come to the show and take a picture or something like that. So definitely let me know if you're coming so that I can, kind of get a plan together, and maybe we can meet somewhere after the show at the merch table or something. So absolutely so fun. I'm so excited for all the things coming up in 2025. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.